Celebrities are not exempt from the law, and just like regular citizens, they can face consequences for their actions. While some celebrities may be able to serve short sentences and move on with their lives, others may be convicted of more serious crimes and spend several years in prison. Regardless of the severity of their crimes, their actions will always be remembered and associated with their legacy. It remains to be seen how they will be able to reintegrate into society after serving their sentences. So get comfortable and join us to discover some of the celebrities that went to jail or currently are rotting in jail. Suge Knight. Suge Knight, former CEO of Death Row Records, was involved in a fatal altercation in 2015 resulting in the death of a man named Terry Carter. Knight initially claimed it was self-defense but eventually pleaded guilty to voluntary manslaughter and was sentenced to 28 years in prison. He's been serving his sentence at a correctional facility in San Diego County, California since 2018 and will not be eligible for parole until 2037. In prison, Knight accused Dr. Dre of being behind a plot to assassinate him, claiming there was proof of a murder-for-hire scheme. Harvey Weinstein. Harvey Weinstein, a film mogul, faced charges of sexual abuse and misconduct from 87 women, but ultimately was convicted and sentenced to 23 years in prison, based on allegations from just 2 women, Miriam Haley and Jessica Mann. Before his trial, Weinstein denied the charges and posted bail with an ankle monitor. He was later indicted on multiple felony sex charges, including rape in the 1st and 3rd degrees. In 2020, a jury found Weinstein guilty of 3rd-degree rape and committing a criminal sexual act against Haley, but he was found not guilty of predatory sexual assault and 1st-degree rape against Mann. He was sentenced to 23 years in prison and is now a registered sex offender. C. Murder. C. Murder, a rapper from New Orleans, was convicted of 2nd-degree murder for killing Steve Thomas in 2002 and is serving a life sentence in Louisiana State Penitentiary since 2009. However, 2 key eyewitnesses have still recanted their testimony, and reality star Kim Kardashian has come to his defense. In 2020, the Supreme Court ruled that jury verdicts in serious crime trials must be unanimous, and C. Murders was not. Kardashian tweeted that witnesses had recanted, new evidence had come to light, and jurors were pressured to convict. One witness said he lied because he feared imprisonment himself, while the other claimed he was also pressured to lie. C. Murder has maintained his innocence. R. Kelly. According to the Chicago Tribune, R. Kelly and several of his associates were arrested by federal agents on July 11, 2019, in Chicago for allegedly recruiting and isolating young girls for sexual encounters, as well as paying off witnesses in a previous child pornography trial. Due to the COVID-19 pandemic, trial dates in New York were postponed. In August 2020, Kelly was attacked by a Latin King gang member while in a federal jail in Chicago, which left him with a serious concussion. In June 2022, Kelly was sentenced to 30 years in prison for sex trafficking, and in September of the same year, he was found guilty of producing child pornography. His attorneys requested that his sentence be limited to 11 years. Forbes reported on these developments. Shannon Richardson. Back in 2013, Shannon Guest Richardson, an actress known for her role on The Walking Dead, pleaded guilty to charges of creating, possessing, and transferring a toxin with the intent of using it as a weapon. According to the Texarkana Gazette, Richardson had mailed letters laced with poison to then-President Barack Obama, New York Mayor Michael Bloomberg, and Michael Glaze, an employee of Mayors Against Illegal Guns. The letters were intercepted and examined by the FBI. In an attempt to frame her husband for the crime, Richardson had purchased supplies using his account, made the poison at their home, and planted evidence in his car and lunchbox. Despite this, she was arrested in 2013 and eventually sentenced to 18 years in prison. Richardson, who was pregnant while making the poison, is currently serving her sentence in a federal prison in Fort Worth, Texas, and is expected to be released in 2029, without eligibility for parole. Josh Duggar. Josh Duggar gained notoriety as one of the 10 sons in the Duggar family, who are the subject of the reality TV show 19 Kids and Counting. The family's strict Baptist beliefs, which prohibit birth control and require modest clothing and chaperoned courtship, are a central theme of the show. However, the family's reputation was tarnished when it was revealed that Josh had engaged in various illegal activities. In 2015, reports surfaced that Josh had molested several young girls, including some of his sisters. Later, he was charged with possession of child pornography, for which he pleaded not guilty. In 2021, he was found guilty on 2 counts and was sentenced to 12 years and 7 months in prison. His lawyers have since filed an appeal with the 8th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals. Tory Lanez. Tory Lanez, whose birth name is Daystar Shemuel Shua Peterson, gained fame as a rapper with the release of his mixtape Conflicts of My Soul, The 416 Story, in 2013. In 2016, he signed with Benny Blanco's Mad Love Records and Interscope Records, and his first album, I Told You, was a success, with hit songs such as Say It and Love. His subsequent albums, Memories Don't Die and Love Me Now, were also well received. Chicks Tape 5, released in 2019, was his most successful album, reaching the number 2 spot on the Billboard 200 chart. However, Lanez's career took a turn in 2020 when he was charged with shooting fellow artist Megan Thee Stallion with an unregistered semi-automatic firearm, resulting in minor injuries for her. Lanez was found guilty of multiple charges and could face up to 22 years in prison. Although Lanez's defense attorney claimed that mistakes were made during the trial, leading to a potential appeal. Sentencing has been postponed until February 2023. In the meantime, Lanez is in custody. Monica Beatty. Monica is a former companion of Abu Salim, an underworld mob figure and a Bollywood actress. In September 2002, she was arrested in Lisbon, Portugal for carrying a fake passport. After being extradited to India in November 2005, she was convicted of passport forgery and served 18 more months in prison. In total, she spent almost 5 years behind bars. After her release in July 2007, she returned to her acting career. In 2014, she received a nomination for Best Actress at the Indian Telly Awards. Amy Locane. Amy Locane is an actress who gained prominence in the entertainment industry with a recurring role in the 1980 sitcom Spencer, playing the character of Andrea Winger. She transitioned to films in 1989 with Lost Angels, co-starring Donald Sutherland and Adam Horowitz. The following year, she appeared in the comedy musical Cry Baby alongside Johnny Depp and Ricky Lake. Throughout the 1990s, she acted in a diverse range of projects, including TV series Melrose Place, drama Blue Sky, and biopic Prefontaine, among others. Unfortunately, Locane's career took a sharp turn in 2010 after she was involved in 2 car accidents following a theater party where she had been drinking heavily, as reported by The Guardian. The second accident resulted in the death of Helena Seaman, the wife of Fred Seaman, after Locane crashed into their car. She was found guilty of 2 charges and initially sentenced to 5 years in prison, which was later reduced to 3. However, her legal troubles continued as she was given additional sentences on the grounds that the initial punishment was insufficient. As per NJ.com, the latest sentence she has received is 8 years. Allison Mack. Allison Mack began acting at a young age, landing her first role in the movie Police Academy 6: City Under Siege in 1989, before she was even a teenager. She went on to appear in many TV shows and movies, as well as a few big-screen productions. She played the character of Jenny Solinsky in Disney's Honey, We've Shrunk Ourselves, and portrayed Nicole Jacob in the popular show Seventh Heaven. Mack also did several voice acting roles, including the Ant Bully and Superman Batman Public Enemies. However, her most well-known role was Chloe Sullivan in the hit show Smallville, for which she received numerous nominations and awards. Mack's acting career came to an abrupt end in 2018 when she was arrested for her involvement in the NXIVM self-help sex cult, as reported by ET. The cult was led by Keith Rainier, and Mack recruited young women to become sex slaves for him. Mack was ultimately charged with sex trafficking and other crimes. In 2021, she pleaded guilty and was sentenced to 2 3-year terms to be served concurrently. NBC New York reported that Mack must also pay $20,000 and will serve an additional 3 years of probation after her release from the Federal Correctional Institution, Dublin in Dublin, California. Alright guys, that wraps up our video for today. Thank you for sticking with me till the